Okay, so it's probably getting to be just about nostril time. I'm going to start by just going from here to here. I think I can put this face in, and that's not going to do me any harm, so I will bridge that, and that does leave me with this section here. Bridge would not connect the edge of this bridge, and that's a little awkward, so I am going to go back to quad draw and put that in that way, and now I do have a nose. It's a hideous nose. It's terrible, but it's a nose, and there is that. So, sometimes you take what you get, right? With noses, maybe. I don't know, I was born with my nose. So I'm going to see what happens if I put in a loop. Oh, I'm not in quad draw. I'm going to see what happens if I put in a loop right here, kind of through the center of the nostril. That may do some bad things to me down here in the chin, and if you go to 3 mode, you will see that at this point I have like a nice indentation here where I want it, but kind of a nasty indentation here at the base of the chin. So I will have to come back to that. But that does give me the ability to take these vertices here and pull them out a little bit. Maybe down like so to really form out the ball of the nose. And that's also going to help me form the nostril. So I'm just going to start adjusting some of these vertices that will form the nostril. Like this one here looks like it should be right in the middle of the nostril. That looks pretty good there too. Then I've got this one, which is at the back of the nostril, but up here is all the way back out at the side of the cheek. So I may be going a little too far here. If I do want to work with the vertices I've got, I can start really dragging these around and having a good old time with them. Remember that soft select is your friend and that you can soft select these and that will get you a better result. But I'm just going to pull these vertices around and see if I can get them to form kind of a nostril shape without me doing a ton of extra work. Let's see what that looks like. It's actually not as bad as it could be. It looks like I've got a little bit of work to do up here in the eye section, so I might take a couple of these and just move them kind of gently around, probably with a little soft select so that I can help their neighbors feel better about themselves. But that'll help me form my nose anyway, so that is not a bad plan. Okay, that might be better. I may also have collapsed my cheeks. So whatever you're going to do here, make sure that you're doing it very slowly and that you are saving in increments so you can always go back to an earlier release. So let's just do one more little tweak and hope that I haven't completely killed the shape of my face. I did tell you that this face model is the hardest model that you're going to do, right? And that I don't usually do it because it's pretty tricky. Okay, so that looks like I've got a cheek and a little nostril. Cute little nostril. Maybe I will pull this in just a touch to help form that crease. That's the ball of the nose. I might be able to thin that out a little bit too. So the next tricky part is getting the face to go up into the nostril. I'm just going to tweak my nostril shape a little bit more. I'm never happy with my nostril shapes. Okay, that's not as bad as it could be. So the nostril shape that I'm going to do, it actually starts all the way in here, and with symmetry on, that can be fairly difficult to make, so I might turn my symmetry off for a moment. Okay, and just take these faces here. I'm going to extrude, and I'll be very specific about the offset that I'm using so that I can do the same thing on the other side. 0.2 looks okay, so I'll come in and do the same thing over here. We will extrude that and do an offset of 0.2. And now I should be able to turn symmetry back on and not have any problems. Good. So now I've got more vertices to help me shape my nostril, and that is great. I can come in here and start forming out the outside of the nostril with these. And here's where it becomes just ever so slightly inconvenient that the picture that I'm working with has been mirrored, because it's really hard to see where the inner edge of the nostril is from this. But I can repeat that process over here to help me form the outer edge of the nostril here so that I don't wind up with some kind of weird gaping chasm. Although that is an option, and I've modeled many nostrils that wind up looking like weird gaping chasms. It's not really a problem, it's just a little funny looking. Alright, that looks like an okay nostril shape. So I can take these faces here. I'm just going to extrude them up into the head. I will do that in world mode, so I just pressed the W key on my keyboard, and I'm going to scale that in a little bit. Some people like to go really crazy and put some extra detail in here because it's going to give them a nicer, more realistic nostril. It is. It is. This is going to be kind of like a flat nostril, and that looks a little too pointy for me. So I might come back and undo that last extrusion and just give it another offset to begin with. So maybe I will do another 0.2 offset and then extrude upwards. And that'll give me a rounder lip to my nostril. Okay, so now we've got a weird drama mask with a nose. If there's anything else you want to do in here, remember that Quadra has a relax feature, so I can come back and just shift and relax some of these things that are going in around the bottom. And maybe I'll do the same thing with some of these things that are going on here in the chin, although be careful, don't go too far, don't go too crazy, or you will wind up with some really weird pointy bits. So that's the nostril, and I sincerely hope that yours come out better than mine. Everybody's are going to be different, so don't worry. The basic principles I'm using are good, but sometimes when I'm making the video I just kind of get too caught up in the technical details and I can't make an actual good model. So yeah, hopefully yours will come out a little better than mine, and we'll go back and revisit the nostril later as needed.